Okay, so those letter forms, the A, C, E and G, all start the same way, same as the O, and they're comprised of 3 or 4 strokes. So you start on the first one at the angle and pull it down straight, swings off to the left slightly, and then you come over, so there's a slight overlap, and bring it around to the right, and there needs to be enough room here, probably about 1 nib width, so it's the same as that, and then this is where the second stem will come down. So once you've done that 1, 2, you can then add that little serif to the top, and then bring this top bar over enough so it lines up with that second stem, and that joins up by coming to the left, and then we just copy the same thing here. We just don't put it out here as much because this is just the tail of the A. So we basically just repeat that for the other ones with some slight variations. So the C is next. We do the same thing. Step 1, a slight flick there, really needs to be very marginal. And then the overlap comes around just as much as the A, but a little bit further. So you can see there, if I do the nib width again, it does come slightly further over to the right. And then the same as the top of the A there, but then you can add that small flick there to come down to just show that it's the C, and add a bit of decoration. As you can see on the A and the C here, I've not done the extra serif there, but these are at angles. They're not actually entirely in line and parallel there. Just gives the form a little bit more character. It fills the space better. So same with the E. Start off with stroke 1. Bring it round as much as the C. Add the serif at the top. And then straight down. The G, apologies, I've gone a little bit smaller on these, but a G. And again, like the A, we're going to do this second stem coming in here, but rather than joining it to the bottom of here, I'm going to pull it past that to form the descender. If we do an example of the O as well, it's basically just the same as the A, but without the tail at the end. So from here, if you want, rather than adding this extra serif in at the top, we can do something which is called pen manipulation. So I'll show you an example here, where you actually twist the nib of the pen to make it go from wider at the top to thinner and then wider again. And I'll just do an O and an A as an example. So see how the nib angle changes as I pull to thinner. So these sections are the narrower parts, and it's thick at the top. It just means you don't have to go back and add that second bit in, but you still can if you want to embellish it further.